Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm from Sebashi, or Time to Change the World. I make short content, and my name is Jun Koo. Sebashi, or Time to Change the World. Have you heard about it? Please raise your hands if you never heard about it before today. Okay, then you can step outside. Just kidding. That's all right. Through my presentation, I hope that you can learn more about our Sebashi, or Time to Change the World. It's a short lecture program that my company offers. Whenever my friends meet me after a long period of time, they tell me that I look better, I look younger, my skin texture looks better, you don't seem to age. So yeah, it's unbelievable. But my friends always tell me so. So I've looked up myself from years back, and here you can see an article 10 years ago and an article from this year. They're both from 조선일보's magazine or newspapers. What's interesting is that you can see me in my early 40s and also in my early 50s, and you can tell that I look much younger today than in the past. I see some of you smirking, but that's how I see it. I look much younger today. And some of you may think that that's impossible. But that's how I would like to kick off. I think that I look much younger in my 50s than I was in my 40s. So what's the secret? I believe that Professor Young-Suk Kim, who's more than 100 years ago, he said that if you're even in your 60s, if you constantly learn, you won't age. And I think that the secret is learning and education. And I think that during the past 10 years, while creating Sebashi content, I think that I was able to actually feel what he means. I've had the benefit of not aging. Back in 2012, at a broadcasting station called TBS, we started to provide Sebashi TV programs. So in 2011, we had our very first lecture program, and we started to broadcast them to many viewers. And 10 plus years have passed, and we have created 2,500 or so short content. And if you look at the number of lecturers, you can see that from all walks of their lives, experts, professionals, and also ordinary people joined our program as lecturers. And about 2 years ago, our YouTube click increased to more than 1 billion, and our number of subscribers actually topped 2.8 million. And again, we have a total accumulated clicks of 1 billion as of this year. So based on this, based on media, we create Sebashi content. We also have something called Sebashi University. It's a learning community. So anyone can form learning communities, and we actually created something called Sebashi Land, and this is an open source platform that anyone can come and create their own learning communities. So based on my experience of providing those short video clips or lecture clips, I try to provide to our learners lifelong learning opportunities, and I hope that I can share with you how this is an effective learning opportunity for many audience and help you not age. And I understand that a lot of you have academic background, and some of you may not necessarily agree to what I say, but based on my business experiences, I would like to share with you my side of the story. So I hope that the mode of education or learning that I've experienced can be adopted or benchmarked by different universities to create also learner-centered education opportunities for many learners. First, the approach that we have taken was to redefine everything. So if I were to redefine today, I would say like this. Whatever success you've had in the past, I think that today you can fail again. And I think that the vice versa would be also relevant. So the existing knowledge, existing experience that we've had, and the existing systems are quickly being replaced by something new every day. So in this time and era, I think that you need to learn something new and obtain something new perspectives and new insights. I'm sure you have heard about the term déjà vu. It's seeing something unfamiliar but feel like it's familiar to you. And there is an opposite concept which is called VUJADE. So it's the right opposite, and the definition is also the right opposite. It is finding something new from something familiar. So whatever innovation and creativity that we have experienced so far didn't come from something created out of the blue. The Naver platform, portal sites, and also the mobile delivery service applications. Those are all based on something of a familiar practice that we've had. So getting food deliveries is something common, but moving that to a mobile platform is something new. So Kakao service is also something that is familiar to us as well. We've constantly in the past communicated with each other now, but the service is offered based on web and mobile. So that's what's new. So Vuja Day is something that we have to have nowadays. So we have to be able to see something familiar with the new and fresh eyes in order to seek innovation. And that new insight and new perspective can bring about something very interesting and innovative. And I would like to give you this ad as an example. Mid 21st century, this is the most popular cereal in the US. So it's called Shreddies. Shreddies was one of the popular cereals in the US, but a new cereal was launched in the market and got replaced Shreddies. And Shreddies actually responded with a new TV ad. As you can see from here, it's a square-looking cereal. So here you see a conveyor belt at a factory, and you see well-organized Shreddies cereal. And then you see diamond shape all of a sudden. So a stop button is pressed, and they're having an emergency meeting. So it has to be square. This is diamond. So surprisingly, they launched diamond Shreddies. So from square, it's now a diamond shape, and after its launch, it was able to obtain back its market share of 20% and became number one. So and it launches combo pack. It has both a square and diamond shape Shreddies. So it sounds really like a joke, but it's true. The PR company actually received a gold prize from Clear Ed Award. So just by shifting the shape 45 degrees, I was able to create a whole new opportunity. So this, I believe, can shed light on our work as well. Sebashi, or Time to Change the World, is of a very innovative lecture program, but if you look into it, it's nothing new. Lecture programs were produced by many broadcasting companies in the past, in today, and also in the future. It doesn't cost that much. There can be a lot of audience interested. You can also recruit part-timers, and all you need is a small studio. So ROI is very good. So whether you have budget or if you don't have a budget, it doesn't really matter. You can create those lecture programs. But what makes Sebashi so different, so unique? So I redefined lecture. That's 11 years ago. So originally, if you think about the lecture programs, those are studio recorded, and they have part-timers listening to those programs. So they clap a lot, even though they can't really empathize or sympathize with the lecture program. So that was the typical lecture programs in the past. However, we now rent out a concert hall, and we recruit 400 or so volunteers from the ordinary people, and the lecture lasts only 15 to 30 minutes. So this is because for 30 to 1 hour program, you would have to record longer. But we decided that in just 15 minutes, you can deliver messages completely. So that was the approach that we took. Most of our lecturers were CEOs, bestseller writers, and in the past, however, in my case, I thought that anyone with ideas and experience that can transform other people's lives can uh, stand on the stage as a lecturer. It can be your neighborhood. It can be your neighbor, it can be anyone. So that was the new definition of lecture program that we had. And with that, we have created many lecture programs. And I also redefined my job, my responsibility. I'm a producer. And if you think about a producer, for about 100 plus years, if you look at BBCs, those are actually broadcasting stations defined what producers do, what their job descriptions are. But I think that even after 100 plus years, we've using the same term and also same job description. So if you think about producers, their responsibility is to recruit lecturers, to create content, you edit, you send the master tape to the transmission team, and then they would send out and air that program. However, I thought that Sebashi, or the Time to Change the World, should use a different approach. We want to promote messages that can change the whole world. So I thought that my responsibility does not stop by sending out the master tape in order to persuade the audience to what the lecturers say. We decided to also write books. We also decided to many more as an extension of our lecture programs. And I think that we can also redefine our products. Again, Sebashi has been in existence for 10 plus years now. It's nothing new. We have had 2,000 or so content so far, so it's become much familiar with the Korean audience. So when we started off in 2011, this was the definition of Sebashi, or time to change the world. So for our life, for our society, it's like seeking answer to our questions. We normally think that when you listen to a lecture, you would find an answer. So, however, we thought that that was our approach in the beginning. However, we decided to change our approach based on our new insight. Sabashi, instead of providing answers to the audience, I thought that it should pose questions to the audience, because the lecturers would be citing and using their experiences, their life stories, and audience who would listen to those messages. And by listening, I don't think that we can find answers to our own problems and issues. But if you listen to those lectures and then ask questions to yourselves, then you can find your answers. So I've redefined what Sebashi does for our audience. And afterwards, what's interesting is that out of 150 or 1,500 or so lectures, we've selected about 100 or so of them and then converted into different questions, and then published these books, 3 versions. Who am I? And what do I want? And what am I going to do? So in these 3 volumes of books, you can see each 100 questions. So instead of learning about answers, they would be able to look at the questions and create their own answers. So using crowdfunding, the readers of ours were asked to contribute. If they agree to our mission, we've asked them to make donations, and in just a month, we were able to raise 180 million Korean won, and we were able to sell that many books. If you sell about 1,000 or so books, then you would be able to call yourself a bestseller writer, but we sold more than that. So again, I think that my own content can be redefined, and that can also create a lot of repercussions. So Sebashi had its beginning in 2011, and so in 2021 we had a 10-year anniversary. So we thought about what we're going to do in order to celebrate that 10th anniversary. We thought about bringing together a lot of audience and have a lecture concert. So we thought that we can come together and congratulate each other, but I thought that this would be too one-off. It's too event-oriented, and it's not going to be long-lasting in terms of changing our lives. So I thought to commemorate our 10th anniversary, the first thing we did was to put together that book using crowdfunding. So it was a project of changing myself. And second was to create learners or learning community of different learners. So we called it Sebashi University. So as a learning community, I thought that we can change. And just like the learning community created by ourselves, we can also encourage others to create their own learning communities to improve their lives. And so early this year, we've created Sebashi Land. It's an open platform for learning communities. So I think that redefining things can create some fundamental changes in our lives. And I think that that was a lesson that I've learned in my case. And second theme I would like to share with you is to listen, to write, and speak. I believe that this is a three-phase virtuous cycle in learning. I'm sure that you are better experts on this topic. But because I create lecture programs, I believe that basically we have to read and then we have to listen. And we also should be able to write my stories, and then based on that, we would speak about it with others. By doing so, I think that we can enhance our competencies and also enhance our inner selves. And I think that I was able to see a lot of real testaments of such. So through Sebashi, we've created a learning curriculum for these three phases. For listening and also reading, we have Sebashi class and live class. And we also have included the books that we have written in our curriculum so that learners and audience can limitlessly also learn and write about them. And they can also write essays about their learnings and the insights that they have attained. And we also created essay books on their experiences. And we also have something called Sebashi speech. So the audience would become lecturers and tell their own story in just 5 minutes. And once a month, we also have something called Live Question Club. So it's like a breakout Zoom session where different learners come together and discuss different topics. So this is the three-phase learner and learning community program that we have. So those learners who have completed the learning community programs share with us how they felt about it. So Sebashi University, how do you find it? I think that contents are available everywhere. There are many successful YouTubers as well. But I think that Sebashi is the most reliable, proven, verified lectures and lecture programs available on Sebashi. And I think that the biggest benefit of Sebashi is that you can talk about your own experience and your own life. I think that it is trend leading in many ways. I also ask a lot of questions and I get a lot of answers from many different people. So we have people of character in the program. I've attended a four-year university in Korea, but I never felt like this. For just 5 months, I think that I was able to overcome my weaknesses, and I think that I was also able to secure colleagues and peers to push me ahead. So this is your final day of the program. How do you feel? I think that many things have changed. I think that I was able to grow, and it's right before my eyes now. To tell you the truth, I think that the Sebashi University was the beginning of a whole new life for me. And I think that I was able to witness myself gradually improving. So I'm kind of addicted to it. And I myself is a housewife, and all of a sudden I became a lecturer. And I think that Sebashi University was actually a turning point for my life. It's like a navigator. It gave me a whole new path. So instead of calling Sebashi, I think that it's more of a Nabashi. I think that after meeting Sebashi, I was able to find a whole new myself. In my case, I was able to solve a lot of issues that stayed unsolved. I have ADHD and I always kept a low profile. However, through Sebashi, I was able to expose myself to the audience. And I'm just an ordinary person, but I think that I was able to stand as a lecturer like this. So it's a whole new opportunity for me. So I'm a producer and I create media, and I'm not an educator. I don't work at an education institution, but through educational programs as such and learning about the learners' experiences, I find it miraculous. And I'm sure you have similar experiences in your own organizations, but these people who have interviewed are just ordinary people who would sometimes leave replies on your TV programs. However, whether it's online or offline, they started joining Sebashi University, and they were able to interactively take part in different lectures, and I think that they were able to experience some change in their lives. So Sebashi University is a learning community for the learners, and I thought that it would be great to have many more learning communities, as Professor Chong earlier mentioned. I think that the more learning community we have, the more opportunities learners will be able to enjoy. So that is the reason why we have put together Sebashi Land. It's an open platform. So whether it's a school or a learner or an institution, you can come and you can create your own learner community. And it's an open platform. Anyone can join. They can upload their curriculums. They can upload their online learning community. So it can be serviced both in app and web. And so it has basically all the functions available and necessary for a learning community. Next, I'd like to move on and talk about turning cliche into a non-cliche. So it's a term that is used in Russian literature. But anyways, I would like to share with you how to do it in our daily lives. I believe that in order to learn, you have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to move yourselves out of your comfortable envelope. And I believe that that comfortness can hinder your learning. So in order to improve and in order to change, I believe that we have to meet with people with different backgrounds, different thinking, and different perspectives. So I think that by meeting these new people, we can also learn something new. So my slogan is that something unusual can bring something new in our lives. A few years ago, I visited South Pole, Sejong. Rather, I've had a lecture program commemorating the Sejong South Pole Research Center. We had a lot of youth audience, and I thought that it would be nice to introduce to them the actual researcher working at the South Pole. So we had live video conferencing. And here you can see a video clip of that. So before I leave, I'd like to share with you this video clip. Would you like to introduce yourself? So we are connecting live with our Sejong Research Center in South Pole. So we are here in Seoul, and we're going to connect with Mr. Lee Sang-hoon in the South Pole. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you. I am Sang-hoon Lee in the South Pole. So if you have any questions to Mr. Lee, let us know. Well, how cold is it? What's the lowest temperature? So here you can see a lot of kids asking questions. What's the most difficult thing living there? Well, the most challenging thing is the fact that I have to be separated from my family members. And here we have a boy asking a question. So I'm the son of Sang-hoon Lee. So here we have the son. Because the theme of the lecture was Sejong Research Center, the boy joined the program. Would you like to introduce yourself? And he's been separated with his father for 8 months, and he started to cry. And a lot of fathers there also started to break into tears. Don't cry. So, Daddy, stay healthy and come home soon. I love you. Thank you. I love you too. So he said, I love you, and then threw the microphone away. Well, that's. So, how long have you been since you last saw your son? Yesterday. So, I guess your son cries all the time then. No, he's very busy watching YouTube, so he rarely picks up the phone. Well, thanks to Sebashi, I think that we were able to connect the son and the father. So, Dong-hoon got separated from his father for 8 months. But he does actually do video conferencing with his daddy every day. So the son actually forgot that they're separated because they were doing video conferencing every day. So it turns out that the son actually met on screen his daddy yesterday. But here he is now breaking into tears. So I think that's something unusual. Can actually change a kid and think about his emotions. So in order to continue with the educational or learning motivation, I think that you have to try and view something familiar with an unfamiliar eyesight. So how can we motivate the learners? This is a question that learners as well as educators need to think about, because the service providers need them in order to have them subscribe to our programs all the time. So I think that giving knowledge stimuli is very important. I believe that providing a unfamiliar content is very important. So for us, we have adult learners, and we are trying to provide on a regular basis a new and unfamiliar content to keep them captivated, engaged. So whether it's a discussion topic or various experiences of other people, we try to offer that. So far I've talked about three big topics. And finally, as a bonus, I would like to share with you that in order to continue to learn, I think that you can always join Sebashi. We have various lecture programs available on YouTube, so join us. Thank you.